Action.
Action. Hey guys, it's Mike Bjorkman and Julie Odell from the Real Estate Marketing Show. Oh man, episode number 34. Is that what you thought we were doing?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Gosh, you guys, again, appreciate all the 5-star ratings and all the shares and all the social media wonderfulness. And you know what, Julie? We're changing people's lives.
Big time.
I
I
mean,
get so many
It's crazy.
agents. I've called out a couple agents in training because they told me that they have to drive back and forth down the 405. And she's like, you guys have just such a good energy and I pick up so much. As soon as I got done, I got off of the phone and I started calling clients. So she picked up
See?
some good lines. So
That's
I
awesome.
thought that was kind of cool.
And speaking of driving down the 405, today's guest, his name is Mike Cuevas. Very good friend of mine. How are you doing today? I see you're up there so everybody can see you.
Hi.
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 Probably we should talk about a little bit is the fact that we do have this on our YouTube channel. Somebody says, oh, hey, I'd like to see how sexy Mike Cuevas is. You could always go to that YouTube channel, HomeSmart NCG.
Take off my shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. HomeSmart. Oh, yeah. Before,
Only if you do.
yeah, as a disclaimer, you guys know that we always filter on this show and we try not to cuss very much.
We always do.
Well,
You do.
We've never dropped an F-bomb, but what I'm going to try to say
Is that filtered?
it's possible that Cuevas might do that. So if you have very sensitive ears, I think he's going to minimize it down to crap, heck, hell, maybe.
He's just passionate about his business. That's for
No,
sure.
and I love it. And that's, and
If not, take a knee.
yeah. If you're listening to this 3 years from now, you probably remember that. But honestly, what I want to talk about is a couple things real quick. I met Mike in, I want to say, Miami or Dallas or something, in our world travels for
Vegas.
Vegas, that's right. We did a
goodness.
program together when I used to own a company called Agent Mechanics. We taught real estate agents how to do property management. And at the time, Cuevas was the short sale king of the world. Like ridiculous, famous front page of the paper. What is the most amount of short sales you think you did in your career in 1 year, Mike?
I don't know. In a year, it's in the thousands. I don't recall. I remember we were doing about 25 to 35, but it was a machine. That was a month. It was just a machine cranking them out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it's just a problem that no one else wanted to take on at the time, and it's the only reason why we excelled at it. It's a lot of what's going on right now in the real estate world. There's a lot of people don't want to do Facebook ads, or a lot of people don't want to do video, or don't want to do that. And that's just what we're happy to take those types of strategies on. I think we'll get into some of that today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't get ahead of me, man. Hold on. So anyway, we did a 3-day event. We did a 3-day event in Las Vegas, and we shared the stage. When you share a stage with somebody for a few days and share a room and some clients, you really get to know somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike and I came out of that as really good friends. We ended up in Florida many times, and then traveling the country for REO, and have always remained good friends. One of the challenges I've always had with him is lived in Chicago, and I wanted to congratulate you. Just recently moved out to San Diego County, which is admirable because most people are afraid to start their life over and really jump into different things. So I want to commend you on that, and I want to ask you, what is the difference between Chicago and San Diego?
Wow. Well, if it's not risky, I don't like it. First off,
That's
so
awesome.
when the pain is very, very high, that means there's a big payday at the end of the day, and that's pretty much what I did. Difference between here is lifestyle, man. It's I can look at a palm tree. There's pink flowers outside of my office here right now. I saw a lizard yesterday. That was pretty cool. But pretty much lifestyle. But I am a lot happier, and it's always sunny here, and I'm happy to be here.
So is it really a big difference? Like you're like, wow, this is cool.
Night and day.
Like
Yeah,
Southern California really is what it is.
Southern California really is as awesome as everyone says it is.
We take it for granted.
I know.
You probably do, just because the scenery, like just drive. I don't mind being in traffic on the 5 because I'm staring at mountains, as opposed to being in I-55 in Chicago staring at headlights and billboards. It's such a world of difference.
I used
Really
to,
is.
Julia, I used to talk to Cuevas at like midnight, 2 in the morning. And what I found out is that it was always dark and gloomy. So it didn't matter if it was 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon. He'd either be at home or be at the gym and just locked in this. And it was like, he told me it was like 25 below one time when I was sitting out by my palm trees and my flip flops. It was hilarious. So I want to talk about and let everybody know the relationship that we do have. So it's a little bit deeper than just, oh, hey, what's up, man? Because we're going to talk about some pretty deep information today. And I want to be able to say, I know it works because I've watched him do it for a long time. And one of the things I'm so blessed knowing you, Mike, is we share a lot of the same values, whether it comes to real estate marketing or just in life in general. So thank you for being on there and welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
All right, so we have hundreds, if not thousands, of real estate agents that listen to this podcast. So we want to get into stuff. I want to kind of keep it as evergreen as possible, right?
Yep.
So if somebody does listen to this 2 years ago, it'll still be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if we get into a couple things, that's okay. Facebook ads, whatnot. But the very first thing I want to talk about that you and I have always agreed on is video. You know, Shane Penley always talks about us in a video revolution. And I think you and I knew that before we even met each other. And I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on what you think about video, because I preach it all the time to my agents, and they're so sick of hearing me say it that they need to hear somebody else say it.
Awesome. Yeah, here's the biggest thing I think realtors confuse with video. Video isn't a lead generating strategy. It's more of a brand building strategy. So I'm gonna give you several different examples of what that means. So there's no, if we look at using video for two different reasons, one's going to go towards their warm audience or their database, right? The people we get referrals from, repeat clients, people we know. That's where 60, 70% of all business comes from. No matter what market you're in, who you are. I know Bjorkman, you have a mega brand and you're 99% referral based. But in general, the stats are 60, 70% plus. So one is that when you use video to market your brand, you're just subtly reminding your network what the hell you do for a living. And because video it connects and it leaves a much longer lasting impression. So let me ask you a question. If, Michael, you saw two posts, go on Facebook right now, you look in your feed, and you have one post that is a video and then one post that's text that basically says the same message as video, which one are you going to remember more?
Mm-hmm. You're right, the video.
That's really all it is. It's the impact. The second way is that...
Or not even remember, it's which one am I going to freaking click on?
Click on an overall impact, because remember how a referral pops up. If we're talking about marketing our database, you never know when the next referral is going to come about. It's a conversation two people are having, and it just happens to be when you're thought of top of mind brand awareness, you're more likely to get introduced into that conversation as an agent. Does that make sense? Versus not posting it at all. So it just reinforces what you do for a living. Yeah, but the second thing is that people lie if they don't think that if consumers, buyers and sellers in our industry want to size them up before they decide to call them or before they decide to, hire them to be their realtor. And that's what video does. It really allows people to see you as an agent and whether or not they can envision themselves to working with you.
That's a great point.
There's on my website, my old website, it's like fallen by the wayside right now. It was like a bunch of spiders crawling on it because I haven't done anything with it. But Chicago Real Estate Dude was a really good site, and there's a video at the top of every page on that site. The only reason that was for there was that the video was never more than a minute and a half max. You don't want these to be long videos, but it allowed people to see if they could picture themselves doing business with me. And that's what it should be. Videos used as a tool to connect just because of how we're communicating right here. I'm looking at you. I'm not just talking to you. It's different. That's why I'm using body language.
This would suck without that. Ooh.
Yeah. If you watch this video, I'm using body language, but that's how communication's perceived. Look at what Chris from Curator, Chris Smith says. A lot of people follow him. He's really smart. He knows what he's doing. And he has an ad going on Facebook right now, and he talks about how communication's perceived. Mm-hmm. And he says 90% of it's the way the tone and the body language you're using. It's not what you say, and that's absolute truth. So video, I'll give you a really good case study that we just did last
These are
week.
my favorite Mike Cuevas little notes. These are my favorite.
I like telling stories. I just always tell
No,
stories.
but you always have the best statistics too.
So this agent, we were doing a video shoot last week in the big block office down here, and one of these agents came inside, and we were doing a little referral thank you video. So the video editor's there, and he's like, "Hey, for $150, do you want to just go ahead and do this 30-second like, hi, her name's Denise. Hi, I'm Denise. I'm a real estate agent type video." She'd never done any type of videos before in her life, ever, right? She's just strictly, she prospects, she cold calls, she hits expireds, cancels, the traditional prospecting efforts of a realtor. She posts her video on Facebook. She had over 27 comments. She sent me 3 messages. She got 3 referrals from this one video, by the way. And this is just on her personal page. And it's interesting, if you see what she said, she's like, "Holy shit, Mike." Sorry, guys. She's like, "Holy crap." Sorry, Mike.
Crap's okay. The first one was for Michael Hellickson. The second one was for me.
I can't wait for BSM. So the first one, everyone, she's like, Michael, people have reached out to me that I haven't talked to from college, sorority sisters, people I haven't even known. And she didn't realize how many people actually see her on Facebook, right? And all it did, if you look at her comments, her entire audience just rallied around her, like, you're so amazing, you're so amazing. All she did was film a 30-second video. And it's just the fact that it put her physical, you know, her body, her language, her tone in front of people that really reconnected with them. So video is just to reconnect with your database. And if you tell enough people what the hell you do for a living, yes, you're going to get more business because moving is a life. It's something that, here are your stats, Julie. 14.19% of the population, according to Melissa data, last year in 2016 were moving this year, okay? Wow. So different markets, different percentages. However, it is safe to say that 10 to 15% of the people we know this year are moving, right? So it's playing the numbers game. People always talk about gambling. This is gambling with farming, but you're farming your relationships. It's really a numbers game.
I have three things to say about that, or about video before our audience, before we go into something different, I should say. Number one, I have stories too. So our YouTube channel, which for a real estate agent is pretty large, maybe half of it's home videos, but the other half is me actually talking.
No, our training one or just yours?
No, my YouTube channel for
the one with 400 videos.
Yeah,
on
it's got 400 videos.
You just called it small, and it's in no
pretty
way
large compared to most real estate
small.
agents.
Right.
But there's been times where people have called me and said, "Hey, listen, I want you to come over and list my house." And I said, "Okay, I'll come over and give you a free consultation, presentation, all that." And they don't need nothing because they've said they've already interviewed me over and over and over on the YouTube channel, which is mind-blowing. I can't think of how many times that's happened. The second thing I was going to say about video is I guess the response rate. And Julie, this is probably good to talk to you about. So Julie, not to embarrass her, is and just fascinated by how many views she can get on her videos. She was this nice, sweet, shy little girl when I got her, and now she's this egomaniac.
I don't love that part.
So she'll send me text messages. Oh, dude, look, we got 1,100 views, 1,500 views.
Well, because you go back to the beginning, which was my 3 years ago.
Right.
And it's like, cute, 6 likes.
Yeah, and now she's
one share and 1 view. And then this last couple of times, it's, the live video that we did, over 2,000 views to say that we're opening in Palmdale. Like, that was...
Yeah, so people actually care about...
People care.
All right, I'll give you the third example, and I didn't want to talk about taking the knee thing, and if you're listening in 2020, I apologize. But here's the deal. We were talking about how much we hated Facebook right now, and last night I barely saw anything. So I was scrolling down, and there I could see it said knee, NFL. I could see it. But then one of my fool friends from Salt Lake City was in an American tank top and a hat and a bandana, all American flags, and it said something about, "Oh, you'll love how I do this." So it was a video. Actually, it was a Facebook Live that was pre-recorded, and I clicked on it, and I watched it. I was dying laughing. I shared it with some friends. I mean, this guy legitimately got 5 minutes of my time when I was super busy trying to do other things because it was a video. And I just scrolled and scrolled and scrolled, and there it was, a video. So I had to see what he said, but it was just amazing. So for those of you out there listening, what he said is very important. They are checking you out. It is an interview. It just is. And for all of those of you that refuse to get in front of a camera, I feel bad for you because in our age of technology, these people are not going to leave their house, and they want to see a human. They still need that human touch. They just don't need it physical. They just need to see it, watch your body language. I mean, who wouldn't rather watch a video than listen to a podcast? That's why TVs are just getting bigger and bigger,
Here's the thing, too. It's like all the videos you create, you're playing the long game. It's not like you're going to create the video as a one-time advertising expense. It's going to long live on your YouTube channel, right? So if you optimize it, it's just going to live there forever. And then it's going to go on your website too. But here's another way that I've used it in the past. Like on my website was nothing more than a Google of real estate, more or less. I wanted to provide a place where people could get answers to. So imagine if you're talking to a cold lead and maybe it's an expired, maybe our prospecting FSBOs are expireds. So I had a page on my site that I'll do for sale by owner. I used to get calls from for sale by owners. Why? Because I had a page on my site that was about, here's how you sell a house without an agent, which is just like for sale by owner crash course. The point is that when you're talking to one of these leads that you're prospecting with or somebody else, you could always point them back to your website. right? And what that does is really just build your authority and adds to the conversion, because people are like, wow, this guy's an expert. He's a pro. And the fact that you're on video, even if I was brand new, the fact that I'm on video, people are going to think I'm an expert, right?
Yeah.
So the other thing, Julie, you said something well. What video does is really build that audience for you. So like your first video, people didn't watch, right? Because you're just getting new at doing it. But why does Gary Vaynerchuk do videos? Is because people now watch him to see what he's going to do. And that, you know, to be able to build an audience out of relationships is extremely powerful. I mean, that's what advertisers pay big money for, is anyone who could have influence and authority over others. That's big money, right?
Yeah.
So
and that really, that's kind of how I look at it too. Like if we did get 2,000 views on that, that was awesome from an advertising standpoint, because I didn't have to buy a commercial. I didn't have to pay for video time. We didn't have to, I mean, we didn't boost it. We didn't get on the ads page. That was just
all
information.
Organic.
Yeah.
Really
organic.
Julie, are you using video in your recruiting efforts? Like when you're meeting a new agent, perhaps?
Like crazy. Honestly, like my text messages are all video now. My Facebook messages.
What do they say to you? Are they like, you know, or maybe you haven't even met them and maybe they're just on an email system. Are you going out and people are like, hey, I know you from somewhere?
Well, Facebook is my favorite place in the world, because it's made not one of my meetings cold. You go into a networking event and you already pretty much know everybody, because we've friend requested a lot of agents from all the brokerages just to show them that we're putting out good information. So if we're training all the time and we're an open door policy, I friend request them, I show them, I ask them, I send them over, and then we go to a networking event and it's like, Julie's here. Hey, we all know each other. And it's been probably
everyone
one
has
of the
a couple glasses of wine. Everyone's a little bit more loose, and then it breaks that down. I heard a lot of stories about people doing Facebook Live consistently. Same thing.
Dude, the last ones we're doing are crazy. Yeah, it's really crazy. And I don't know why, if somebody says Mike Bjorkman was live, they want to see it that much more. It's like, oh wow,
yeah. What's he doing?
I guess
something's got to be big.
Deal.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool to talk like that, because, dude, if you can get double your views from going live, even if 10 people are watching it, even if you did it at 2 a.m, who cares? It's still there in the morning for everybody to see. And I believe, from what I can tell, Facebook gives a lot of algorithm love to live video.
They notify everybody for you. Yeah, they want to push it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Here's, like, you're bringing up a good point on video. It's just that the more and more, you know, people won't start watching them at first, but like my videos I do right now, I don't have as many people watch mine as I said they would when I first started doing them. The reason is because people have gotten used to them, because I've done so many of them.
Yeah.
But when you'll see different results. But at the same time, let's talk about what are you talking about when you're on these videos? I also think one of the biggest mistakes a lot of agents make from the video side is that they try to preach about real estate, and they try to make it so real estate specific, as opposed to like just talking about maybe a neighborhood per se, or something that's more of value driven than always selling. Right? Like, Mike, I want to see your videos. I want to see what the hell you're going to do next.
Exactly.
You're an interesting guy, right? You always have something coming on, but you're never talking about real estate, but you always have like Bjorkman branded in the bottom, right? So I know you're in real estate. You don't have to tell me you're in real estate. You could just talk about life. You could talk about anything, you know, and I would watch it just because I want to see what you're going to do next.
We got to remember that typically if we're talking about video, it doesn't always have to be social media, but today, for right now, I'm talking about social media. It's social, right? That's the whole world.
Well, because where else do you put video?
Yeah, social. Well, you can your YouTube. You can a lot of different
social,
places.
right?
I guess what I'm talking about is video for, like, if you go to mikebjorkman.info, right, landing page just for video to learn about real estate, blah blah blah. But I've gotten so many more views off Facebook Live that has nothing to do with real estate, and that's when I go, oh, that's so cool. And people say, oh, well, Mike, you know, you don't do a lot on real estate. Yeah, because nobody gives a F about me selfieing myself, big old head and a screen in front of an open house that nobody's going to go to if they can't see the house. All they see is your big old ugly mug. It's kind of funny, though, like what you said about yourself. You say it's interesting my video views go down as I am more consistent. But I wanted to point out something about that. It's very crucial for the agents to listen to what I'm going to say, because when they heard what you said, that might have been like, oh, that's weird. but I get it, because here's the reason. Us three, we follow Gary Vee, right? We love the guy. I follow him on Instagram. I cannot stand watching his live stories anymore. I won't do it. I already know what he's going to say, how he's going to say it. I have to really be in the mood to like get pumped up, but I'm always pumped up, right? But here's the point. The people that are watching are in need of your service, are very into you, or here's the important part, they're new. They're not sick of you yet.
I was just going to touch on that.
So it's an authentic view. It's very important that you keep in mind, even if two people, a great example, two people watch your video and you're like, God, that sucked. Only two people watched my video. But one of them, what if they called you for a listing appointment? The other day, we had an agent that did an open house that had two people show up. Now, I'm not going to get into how wrong she did the open house, but the fact of the matter is she sold one of the two a house. And listen,
It only takes one.
sales, right?
Right.
So that's why sometimes on YouTube people go, "Oh man, I only got like 45 views. That video sucked." No, not everybody is going to click on a short sale video. Not everybody's going to click on. So I just want to talk about the difference between having 2,000 views but having really authentic, organic views that are meaningful. And there's another word I'm looking for, but those are your.
Let me clarify something I just said.
Go for it.
Because you're right. The first time you do a video when you come out of your shell, yes, you're going to get a ton of attention. People are going to be like, holy crap, because you put yourself out there. You're exposing your vulnerabilities. And people rally around you. Now, a certain percentage of, as you do more and more videos over time, you won't start getting as many new views is what I meant. But the quality ones you'll be getting are the ones who are actually part of an audience that you've developed. Does that make sense?
Perfectly good.
So it's more quality. So just know that when you start doing videos, expect a flash or a big like flash mob up front of action, engagement, and all this stuff, because people aren't used to seeing you that way, and the engagement will dwindle down. But doesn't mean people stop watching you. But it's how you break through the clutter of realtors out there, because like the worst realtor ads on Facebook right now are the ones that are like, I've been in this business for 15 years, and they're like this, and it's like nobody really cares about that. They care about like, what can you do for them?
And that's so important that you touched on that. And I'm glad you did. Julie, how many of our newer agents that do video all of a sudden seem to be banging, right?
Oh, banging.
They're not,
yeah.
This is proof in the pudding for you newer agents listening, or even some, longtime agents. There's agents out there that are brand new. They suck. They have not been in the business more than 15 months, but they're absolutely crushing it and killing it. They're doing everything we say, especially video. Now, I know who does and who doesn't do video. I've made a goal, I guess, or a vow to friend request every one of my agents or accept theirs. So, a few hundred of these agents that I watch. And if they do video, I'll watch it and pay attention. Not only because I wonder if there's any liability in there as the broker,
but we want to make sure that they're listening to the training, and we want to see that they're paying
I'm
attention
listening to what's coming out of their mouth. And I'm like, hey, I taught them that. And it's like, but here's the bottom line. I know damn well the agents doing well are also including video in, and they're new. They don't need to say, I've been in the business 15 years. I'm the best agent in the world. I'm this king and that king. They don't say any of that. They're authentic. They're realistic, and they talk about whether it's real estate or not. I watch them sell a lot of houses, and I'm like, well, there you go.
Well, and for me too, it's not only are they implementing the training, but they're manning up. Like, I kind of want to curse, like they grab the bull by the horns. And they might be holding it the wrong way, even though they're FaceTime living or they're Facebook living, and it's totally held the wrong way. It's their lower chin. Like, there's so many things that we could fix right there, but I'm like, you know what? Screw it. They went live. Like, you're ahead of agents that have been doing it for, I mean, there's agents that we watch and we continue to call them top producers, but I can't find them on social media. I don't know how they continue that.
Imagine if they did, or imagine who's taking over. And I was coaching an agent the other day, and she's been in the business longer than me, and she's a huge agent out here. And she called me for help because, they get older in the business, and then they start doing, a bunch of deals, and then they let the technology slide. And she called me, and she's like, I need help desperately, to the point where she wants to change her company from 20 years to come work at our company so we can help her regain momentum in the industry.
Call me.
Yep. So the reality is I was, what the hell was my point? The reality is, as I was walking her through this and realizing how much stuff she didn't do, how much we could help her with, and I said to her, blankety blank, here's the reality. And we could statistically prove that every year you do a couple less deals, right? And it's not because you're tired. It's not because your staff's messed up right now. It's because slowly but surely somebody else is gaining your market share. Now, I'm not into traditional real estate companies, right? We're into transaction fee companies. And I said, and she's at a traditional real estate company. I said, here's the deal. You're sitting in that big fat office paying your broker a crap ton of money, and you're paying for your future competition that is slowly but surely chewing you out of the marketplace. And guess what? You're paying for the person's office down the hall. Everybody listening out there, if you've been in a long business a long time, think about the people around you. Think about who slowly is surely gaining some of your market share because you're not keeping up or embracing technology, which video is not new, but it is something that we could use extremely easily. So I was glad I remembered that point because it's pretty important. I'm like, God, you know, because I kind of know who lives around her in her office. I'm like, think about these few people. They're starting to, you did 5 less this year. They did 10 more. You did 5, you know. So I was talking to her. She's like, oh my God, you're scaring me, Mike. And I'm all that, see?
Well, even on them, that's a perfect example. Look at some of the older agents, and as technology is coming on, how are people infiltrating into that market? And it's mainly because they're being met by other agents who are just establishing consistent communication, probably by some of her past clients, right? I mean, what else are they doing? It's not like some agent came in and says, oh my God, I got the super duper listing system that's going to sell your house for 43% higher of an ROI within the next 24 hours, or that's it. There's no magic bullet here. They're simply beating them on relationship. Am I wrong? Or
no, social
100%.
media, video, relationships, absolutely. And then
today's agents are using that technology to communicate more effectively, which in turn builds their brand and replaces their old ones.
Right. On the flip side of that, and here's more proof in the pudding, there are some agents that are my competitors for 25 years, and they're top producing agents. It was kind of funny to watch how I did catch their market share. I passed them all to become the number 2 real estate agent in the whole area. Here's what I noticed. I saw the ones that did grasp and engage and said, okay, we're going to start working with video and technology. And I was like, holy crap. They just started doing a third of what I did, but they were able to build that momentum again and start kicking butt again. And it's not because they started prospecting more. It's because they started branding more. They started their social media out of the blue. And I think they were cognizant enough to say they knew that I was competition or people like me in our marketplace. They said, oh God, if I don't do what he's doing, or I smoke their asses out of so many listing appointments that they start going, okay, that seller said they didn't list with me. They love me, but didn't list with me because I don't do A, B, and C. And Mike does all those things. I better. So after the 10th listing they lose from me, they're like, oh God, I better start doing this and hiring people and learning people and being taught. So I look at it and I say, that's it. I mean, there's no other way to describe how this is happening. So there's so much proof in the pudding for agents out there.
You brought up a really good point. Video, and I said at the beginning, video is a brand building exercise, but let's look at just the importance of branding. You're an expert at this. Like, you've built a whole brand. When people see you, they think of Team Bjorkman, and everyone's got those. I don't even know what the color of your lettering is. I know it's white and red. Right. So folks, it's so important for you to brand everything that you do, because the visual imagery of it is more powerful than the text reminder of it. So what I mean by that is this, like, think Nike, right? Mike's got a Home Smart shirt right on his back. He's always freaking branding. But the truth, why branding is so important is because it creates top of mind brand awareness with your business. Like, he's got his computers too. That, I'm surprised it doesn't say Home Smart Media Studio right there in the background.
Because we forgot our sign.
There you go. But in all honesty, think about Nike, right? Nike doesn't have to say Nike. They have the swoosh symbol. So you got to, like, an agent who doesn't have a logo, it drives me nuts. It's like, how do you not have a logo? And you could use your company's logo for sure, but your own logo is what people will remember a lot more than, like, let's take my name, Mike Cuevas Realtor, or Chicago Real Estate Dude, the picture cartoon character of the logo. Which is more memorable, which creates more top of mind brand awareness. You know, the whole goal, of course, the whole goal of branding isn't to, like, it's to remain top of mind. That's what 90% of this business is. Don't be forgotten about.
You know, I never told you I hated that brand when I first met you. And I'll tell you
Chicago
why.
Real Estate Dude?
Yeah. I go, I hated it. And here's the exact reason why. At the time I met you, I was trying to mature and be more of a
A
professional
luxury.
and have this image of being some businessman now. And then I walk into you, I'm like, see, bull crap. He can
You can
do
have
it.
a
I can do it.
cartoon.
I want to be a dude. I don't want to be this professional. I want to be a dude still. So I was like, God dang it. And it was working for you. You were kicking butt. And I'm like, oh, man.
The only
See,
reason it worked for me is
we can
because it
sell
was true to
houses
who
and
I
trips.
was.
Right.
And it just got to be who you are. I wasn't a luxury agent. So for me to try to front that I was, everyone would be like, you're lying through your teeth.
Yeah. Even then, I
So it
wasn't
was just
luxury.
who
I
I
was
am.
just trying to be an adult. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I was turning about 30. It was time to get out of the 20s. And I had this branding firm. Like I said, I want to be like a real high-end lawyer or
Not a dude.
yeah. So as soon as I met you, I'm all, dude, I want to be a dude.
Dude, I'm a
Anyways,
dude.
all right, sorry, just a funny little side note.
Just
So-
there's a lot of people I didn't resonate with, but the agent, the master, the jack of all trades is the master of none, and it's no different in your branding. If you're trying to go after the entire world and try to get everyone on as a client, you're not going to get as far as if you just picked out who you truly is your niche, who you truly resonate with. Because at the end of the day, whether it's online leads or people that know you, they ultimately don't choose you to be hired. They don't choose you as a listing agent any other reason than they know, like, and trust you.
Right, and I want to go on your coattails of what you just said. You said, how did you say it? The bottom line is you said, yeah, I won't resonate with everybody, but those that I did with, it was good. Whatever, however you said that. It's so important as an agent, because we train agents all the time to pick 3 or 4 things and not 20.
Yes.
So if you were an expired agent and you did it once every couple months and you didn't really follow up, you're not really an expired agent, but you did 10 things today. So it's exactly like this. We're talking about video and branding, and they go tremendously well together. If you are going to do it, get good at it and be consistent at it.
Consistency.
And that'll be a huge,
Huge.
it's a niche. It's a very important niche that people would never think of it as a niche. But people think Mike Bjorkman, they think, yeah, the guy's all over social media. He does video. I see him everywhere, right? I mean, I don't want to say it about myself, but I think for the purpose of this, we can. So
Let's give them a specific.
I
Let's
think
talk
that's a
Facebook
niche.
ads.
Yeah.
Let's do specific.
Okay.
If you really want to if you look at anyone who's doing a lot of Facebook ads right now, you're going to see, and it's coming across the board, that Facebook ads are the highest in terms of number of leads that are coming in. However, at the same time, I've also been told they're also the lowest converting.
Right.
All right. So you're getting a ton of leads because people are just going through Facebook and you're just clicking on stuff. So I like playing the game. I like playing more of the long game and not being like, see how many leads I could get this week. I could care less about leads. I care about how many deals actually close. So if you want your Facebook ads to start working well for you, imagine tying yourself, and this is why figuring out who your brand is so important, because you're going to target yourself on Facebook. All right. For me, I knew what my brand was. I knew what my brand resonated with. I knew right at 46 years old, that dude thing wasn't cool anymore because I studied my own demographics. I also know that it started at about 26. So it's 26 to 45 years old of people that had kids under the age of 5. That's who I resonated with. So when I dialed in my targeting to just target myself in Facebook, then I would have better results, because ultimately people are going to either connect or not connect with you, especially on social media. That's what social media is. It's a connecting platform. You don't hang out and follow people that you don't like. So if you want to actually get better on the Facebook ads, target yourself. I'll give it another example. Let's say, Bjorkman, you like cross-roading and all this like RV stuff, right?
Cross-roading.
That's some Chicago
Oh.
thing, don't we? Camping.
I see you camping and stuff, but
Yeah.
you might be targeting people in Santa Clarita that like camping, right? Or say you're
Yeah.
a Star Wars fan, or say you're a single mother. Target single mothers that you would resonate with, right? It doesn't. You have to target yourself, because ultimately, we did this test the other day, right? And we're in the classroom. I forget where we're at, but I was in a room speaking, and I asked everyone, all right, I want you to think about your last 10 deals, your last 10 closings. If you haven't done 10, think about your last 5. What do they all have in common? And everyone sort of came to a self-realization. They're like, oh my God, the people I ended up converting were like the same people that I would have beers with on Friday at happy hour. They're the same people that I want to hang out with my kids and go to Legoland together with. So the point is that your agents will track people just like them. And if they stop trying to attract everyone and start attracting people like that they liked, just like the dating game, you'll get further with less money and higher ROI. That's all I'm saying.
You'll
That's
get
big.
further with less money on the dating game. You're right. You're absolutely right. So
That's a big takeaway for me.
here's another thing that I thought was kind of cool. we talk about branding. So you talk about the logo. So I'm the broker of a lot of agents, right? I opened up HomeSmart out of the blue out here. Nobody knew what HomeSmart was. I mean, they're like, "Oh,
Yeah, I
cool,
remember.
that's a cool logo you designed. I like that." And you might even be one of the guys that said that.
Yeah,
And I'm like, "Look,
never heard of them. I
it's
remember
not
that.
it's not my logo." So I had to change my Santa Clarita real estate logo into HomeSmart.
Hmm.
And I go, nobody knows about it really. But within 90, 120 days, everybody knew because I took the HomeSmart logo, which had nothing to do with me, and I just put the Team Bjorkman. I changed real estate into Team Bjorkman, and I started promoting that as my new logo. And it wasn't mine, but I needed to really create this company and show everybody what we were doing. And it had to have been 6 months, and then we were a household name in a town of 250,000 people. And I was so proud of that. I was like, man, because that'd been the third time I branded a company throughout our town. And then we did a lot of video with HomeSmart. I mean, we had a studio in our office. We had the agents as much as possible film in there, and I did a ton of filming. And that's when social media got really hot. So
You had like the first green screen
yeah,
in
I mean,
any of the brokerages.
yeah, they're like, "What are you in the studios? You like have people take photography here on the weekends?" But I mean, they were
Dude,
tripping out.
you branded the living daylights out of that.
Yeah.
I saw it.
worked.
I remember you said that, and it's here's the thing: it's consistency,
Hmm.
right? Like if you only did that brand like sparingly on your social media posts or your letters or whatever, and you weren't consistent on all fronts. I'm talking about your social to your print to your online. You took the whole thing, and it's a whole freaking package. It's not. It's got to be on everything you do because once people start seeing it enough, then they're like, oh yeah, then it just sticks in their mind. Like this gets deep, but if you think about it, go back to the Egyptian days. Like I was reading this really good book. Had it here, but I don't know where to do with it. A few years ago, I read this book. I still keep it on my shelf. But what it said, it's absolutely truth, is the logo is so important, the branding is so important because if you think about it, that's how the Egyptians told stories, right? They didn't.
Logos,
They
yeah.
went just off. I mean, look at the Bible, look at religions, look at anything. It's nothing more than a bunch of stories. But stories used to not be told in text; they were told in pictures, right? It's just because the brain perceives pictures much faster than it does reading anything. And it's just the way we're wired. So think about that. Every time, like we do this thing, we go reposition your Facebook profile. Like you never have to market your brand on Facebook. Just put your little stupid logo in the bottom of your profile picture. And every single time you comment, people know you're in real estate.
Yep.
It's that simple. It's really not anything ninja or crazy about it other than the imagery is more powerful than anything you'll ever say though.
Well, and it's kind of stupid too, but like I communicate really well in emojis. And
God.
he hates it, but
Yeah.
listen, and like your podcast, I can tell, even in the comment section, when you've got more emojis up at the top, like the symbolism of it all actually does matter. And, from a green perspective, I don't know. I always kind of feel like I'm maybe the buyer or the seller. If you have 2 or 3 agents in front of me and one has really beautiful branding, this one may have been doing real estate for longer, but I kind of feel like you're more of the expert because if you were able to brand yourself that well, you could probably do that for my house better.
Right.
And then even though this one maybe has done more transactions and has been through more drama, but you couldn't even like where's your business card sucks.
Right.
Yep.
And not to talk about our company, but I always ends up doing it because our branding is so ridiculously beautiful.
It's so good.
That an agent on day one can take all of our branding, right? So we actually have videos because you and I know agents won't get on video. So we did the videos for them and it talks about, hi, I'm a HomeSmart agent. These are the 6 steps that walk you through, and then that brands perfectly with the listing presentation. So I could say to somebody can come to me and say, and they do all the time, oh, Mike, I got a listing lead. Somebody wants to sell their house with me. I'm like, okay, good. Go listen. They're like, I don't know what to do. Okay. First, send them a little video. So we send them the HomeSmart video. Then email them the listing presentation. Then when you're there, talk about the listing presentation
Drop it
and how
by,
your tools and I watch and I'm blown away all the time. And we have so many test case studies over and over that the agents come in or call. They don't even. It doesn't matter what time it is. They call me and say, I got it. And I go, why do you think you got it? Like, I don't know. I go, you were so much more professional than the other agent that came in, dropped a half ass thing of comps, black and white papers on their desk.
MLS.
No, they showed really nice branding, and that's so important. So, like you said earlier, it's you tie the whole package together, and you're consistent. It's just amazing.
Look at the competition right now. in the industry. Like Purple Bricks just came out in your guys' neck of the woods, and you got all these other flat fee services coming on out. The only thing that I think realtors are going to have to compete in the future is our
Purple
What's
skill.
Bricks?
purple
What's
bricks?
Purple Bricks?
Wait, no. Don't say it again,
All right.
though.
All right, so it's just another flat fee brokerage,
Okay.
another flat fee service brokerage that had a big offering and whatnot. But it's no different. It's like Redfin just lowered their commission to 1%, right? It's happening on all fronts. There's a lot of companies trying to squeeze listing agents. They're not going after buyer's agents. They're going after listing agents. The only reason I believe that's happening is just because if the status quo is just like what Mike's saying, come on in with your black and white comps, put a property on the MLS, put a sign yard, call it a day. If that is the status quo, that's what Redfin does. And they're only charging 1% for it. So of course that when there's a lack of value, that opens up the vacuum for these less expensive companies. The whole branding package and why you guys are probably winning as much as you are, you do this for all your agents because agents most of them don't do this stuff. They don't have this type of stuff. And I don't think sellers, want to hire realtors anymore. I think they want to hire marketers. I think they want to hire someone that's going to actually expose their house to thousands more potential buyers, net them a higher dollar in least amount of time. Right. So you have to do more than the status quo. And that's why this is also so important for your real estate business. Without creating the experience, which your branding does, like I bet you people feel amazing after they meet with you guys because of that experience you just walked through. You got the video, you're prepping them before the listing presentation. The whole consumer experience is where the future is in the real estate business. And it's such a big deal. Such a big deal.
Let's switch gears a little bit to what are you noticing in your company's success down there? I know you've joined forces with Sam and Big Block Realty, and you're doing a lot of the agent training. Since you've been there, what, maybe 3-4 months now, something like that? Has it been that
Not
long?
even. I'm like 60 days.
All right. So what are you like looking around going, wow, this is working. This company has got 500-600 agents because of this. What do you if we're saying the same thing here about branding, video, social media?
Well, you guys are doing the same. You guys are very similar.
Okay,
and,
that's what I was
you're
wondering.
empowering agents to build their own brands, both of you, versus having them rely on like one of the companies, like build my company up. That's the traditional brokerage. It's like build my company up, build my company up. I saw this stat the other day on Facebook and it said it was so powerful. This is true. I was in one of the broker groups and, two brokers are fighting against each other. Like, oh, my agents do this or my agents do that. And one of the guys, they're fighting about Zillow. And one of the guys spends like 20, 30K a month on Zillow. Okay. That's a big budget. And the guy came back and he had him. He goes, look, if your entire business is based upon third-party lead generation companies, you're just a salesperson. You don't have your own freaking brand. You don't have anything that's saleable if you ever do retire, because once Zillow switched their algorithm up, you're SOL. Like you're stuck. What are you going to do to keep your buyer's agents happy and do all this stuff? And the guy didn't know what to say afterwards because he was literally that dependent on other resources for the future of his business rather than just his own thing that he built on his own, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you said that. I got in a huge discussion the other day with a bunch of the Club Wealth agents, and I said, okay, you guys, let's go back to 2011, 2012 when I was teaching agents property management. I went to them, I begged them, I said, you guys, I love you as truly good friends. You have to do something to diversify. Mm-hmm. So I tried to get them all into property management, maybe a quarter of them did. And the other ones almost got out of the business until we started coaching them to buy leads. All the lead purchase platforms, Realtor.com, Zillow, Truly, you name it. So here I am, 5 years later, I'm going, dudes, you guys are doing it again. None of you know anything about anything. All you're doing is buying leads, hiring agents to take the leads. Mm-hmm. I said, what happens? There's one of two things are going to happen. These super companies are going to take over, and they're all going to turn into the Redfins, hiring their own agents. They're going to cut you off of their leads. You got to know that. Number two, all of us normal smart people will cut our information off of those guys, right? So now you're not going to have any more leads. You better figure out something in business, which is diversity, but relationships, marketing, branding, because, one of my biggest mistake in my career in this business was when we were doing extremely well in the short sale days. We were closing 25 to 35 transactions a month. I gave those relationships to the listing agents at that time. I could have built a mega brand. Oh my God.
Because it's all on the relationship based. Each one of, before I left Chicago recently, I haven't been really I haven't been like trying to be super realtor. I've been working on my platform for the last 2, 3 years. So I can tell you that every single person that worked for me in those days, awesome agents. I'm not taking anything away from them, but they are running 40 to $60 million businesses each as independent agents. But it's like in real estate. Once you have enough clientele, it snowballs from there. It's just a matter of getting to that point. And if you're not like the people who are buying these leads, and I'll give you another example, people who are buying these leads right now, you have to remember once you close those transactions, those leads are nothing more than a stepping stone to the next transaction, because that they become part of your audience and they all have the ability to return to you for repeat business in the future, but more importantly, become a referral source. And that's ultimately how you run a business and build a brand. And I see that more than ever. What I'm doing, like around these across the country, I'm doing these talks. I'll be in St. Louis next week, and agents there really is a difference between a salesperson and a business person. And the ones who look at the long-term play are going to set themselves up for that. And it all revolves around building a brand and building a business of relationships, essentially.
So powerful. A question for those. You said I gave those relationships to all the listing agents that worked for you and your company, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So your team agents, let's say.
Yeah, I removed myself such from the situation that I was just literally going traveling the company with you at that time. My team was running itself, but yeah, I totally removed myself. That was the biggest mistake I made, because it was my highest volume years. And looking back at it now, I sort of kicked myself in the shins. But I mean, I didn't realize at that time what I was doing. I was still like 26, 27 years old at that time, maybe 28, 29. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we all were close to that age.
Little immature at that age, you know.
We were awesome. Let me ask you another question. We're taking this to a very video specific podcast now. It's going to be based on video. Talk to me about your thoughts on video emails, such as Bomb. There's a couple other things. Talk to me your thoughts on your database and how to use video with that.
Awesome. Good question. So actually, I just wrote a blog post on a video distribution checklist. So it's about like people, if no one sees your videos, what the hell's the point of doing them to begin with? But I believe every single person should be using video email, because nobody wants your boring turn back the clock emails. No one wants your spam. And if you're spamming your database, you're annoying them. So Bomb came out with a stat years ago that said like 13% open rate, right, for emails, which I believe. I think that's about right on. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
So
less nowadays.
If only, and I don't even like email anymore. I'm not even using email that much for my real estate marketing stuff, just because my open rates are like 19% or something like that. But that's actually industry, right?
That's
so
standard.
imagine the whole point of sending your database in an email to begin with is to stay on top of mind. Right. So let's not stop the point, the main goal of doing this. The goal is just to be on top of mind, maybe provide value, give them a chuckle or something, just to not forget about you. And only 13% of them are opening it. 87% of them are not. So how effective is that as a marketing strategy? First question. 2, when you do video, my open rates average in excess of 35% on the low end, but more likely like 45% and beyond. So what it's doing is it's touching more and more people. The only goal of your email strategy to your database is to nurture the relationship. Let's not like overcomplicate this. People will call you if they remember you and if you have a relationship intact.
Right.
People will refer you if you have a relationship intact and they believe in your product and or service.
I'll give you an amazing story. At my property management company, California Leasing, we're working with MailChimp or whatever. And dude, I'm like, for reals, like less than 2% are opening these. I'm like, we're mailing to, 5,000 people, whether they're active tenants, past tenants, owners, everything. It's a generic freaking newsletter. And I go, this is stupid. We got to do something. So I go, let me look at this program. And I suck at all programs. I love technology, but I don't know how to use it. And so I open it up. I look, I go, oh, there's templates. Like the very first template I saw was a huge video at the top of it. So we put a video in the top of it, and it went from like 2% the next month to like 10%. I'm like, holy shish kebab.
Was that open or was it a play rate or open rate?
It was just the open rate because we get the stats. I just happened to be on the email. And then I started looking. I go, you know what? It was better. It was better. The next month, we didn't do the video because I wasn't there to poke at
Crack
them.
the whip.
Yeah.
Crack the video
Back
whip.
down to
How
2%.
much?
Get the video.
Back down to 2%. So I said, you guys don't be idiots. We got a good open rate, better with the video.
Be
Put
consistent.
the video in. So we put another video in, and this time it was of me, and now it went up to 20%. I was like, Jesus Christ, how could you? So out of 5,000 people, now I have 1,000 people instead of 100. That's 900 more people that got to see something. So I'm like, and now I'm trying to figure out really what to do with these people. Do we segregate them? Do we send a bomb to every different past tenant, active tenant, past owner, active owner? But it's a huge commitment. It's a huge time commitment. But those are the types of things I'm playing with now, because if video is that important, you gotta really take it into consideration, or not do a stupid newsletter, because it's going to take somebody a few hours to complete this newsletter. We're talking about leaky, squeaky.
It's like a nurturing
crap.
campaign, yeah. And here's another thing: like, keep the videos below 90 seconds, you guys, especially on video email, because people aren't going to watch like what you're going to say. My lower play rates and open rates are like and here's the other thing too, is your videos got to be a little bit of exciting now. It can't just be as a talking head like they used to be. That was cool 5 years ago, but now that's why we use a lot of green screen. But if you don't have a green screen, you could be creative. We did a Groundhog's Day video once, and I just had a groundhog like right here. And it was just
To this day, my favorite video.
You saw
To this day. That was a long time ago.
That was a long, you still remember it.
Yeah.
But it's just the groundhogs, and you just
I
see
always
groundhog.
meant to
I just
steal
punch
that
it.
damn thing.
And
Yeah.
it was just different. But we do Thanksgiving Day videos, St. Patty's Day's videos, and we're doing what everyone else is not. And that's the point. Is that it's just about getting seen and more eyeballs on you. And that's what video does. It's like, what's he going to do now?
Yeah, I remember you sent a bomb video out that caused all kinds of controversy in our office, everybody's office, and the subject line was "I love you," and there was a big ugly picture of you like with your lips out, and I'm all, that's brilliant. And some people did it. It caused a lot of discussion. I'm like, the dude's in freaking Illinois, and he has 50 people at a company in California talking about it. I'm like, must be done right. I mean, that's
a Valentine's Day email.
Yeah,
I love you. It's a subject line.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. And we love you for sharing that with us. All right, so let's say an agent says, I have this database of clients. I have A's, B's, and C's. I want to communicate with all of them. Do we use a bomb campaign, or do we use a normal campaign? I mean,
Bomb for all. Very good question. I use this. So this is the biggest thing. It's like, who should I be marketing to and who shouldn't I, right? That's the question a lot of people have. Should it be all my opt-ins, all my Zillow leads, should it be all my Trulia people, and whatnot? I tell them there's a total difference in a video campaign to your relationship list as opposed to your lead list, all right? And this are the two differences. Because the content of the video to a lead list is going to be a lot less personal than to a relationship list. The relationship list, I'm maintaining and nurturing a relationship. My holiday greetings serve for the video content for that over a 12-month calendar. However, a lead list, I'd have to do something a little bit different. It'd be a little weird if I start an opt-in, if I start sending this guy, I love you emails for Valentine's Day, right? But my database would understand those. So they're two, I would separate the lists first off. Now, who goes on your relationship list is the smell test. It's very simple. Go on your Facebook feed and look at the names that are on that first list. And if you go through those names, and imagine if you went on Facebook and you learned about that person, you just saw a picture of them on Facebook with the new keys to their house. Now, if you got a sick feeling in your stomach, you're literally like, oh my God, they didn't use me. And if that's the feeling you get, then yes, they should go on your relationship list. If you see that same person with the keys and you're just like, oh, I could see how they didn't use me, and you didn't really take offense to it, then they should not go on your relationship list.
That's a great example.
It's about using a list of people that are quality of whom you'd expect to use. And you'll see that list with consistency through social, through email, through direct mail, will create enough business for any agent. And then at that point, it's just a mathematical game.
All right, I got one more story for you about controversy in email. I guess I won't say his name, but he's a friend of ours out of Florida. He's an agent, and he's like talking to me about video, and I said, dude, you just got to try it. And he's like, I got 1,000 people that are in my database. Some are past clients, some are, he's all, I'm just going to send it to everybody. And he talked about, what was it? something about the election and some kind of statistic. It was kind of interesting, but kind of
Yeah.
not, like what's happened to the economy, the interest rates, and the stock market. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe if it's not a real relationship nurturing, it can go to anybody. If I was to see it, I thought I'd be interested. I really would. I'd listen to the whole thing. So I said, all right, go ahead, test it. So I get this email, and I should have sent it to you. It was only a couple months ago. And so he goes, check this out. He goes, I'm never doing video again. I said, what? So you know how on BombBomb you could hit reply by video?
Oh
Oh
man.
The
no.
client goes, hey, you bleepity bleep, delete me out of your M and F and off my list. And if you send me another one, I'm going to report you to the Better Business Bureaus. I reply back, I'm like, dude, see, it worked. Somebody that normally wouldn't open your video opened it and watched it. It was
Yep.
perfect. So it was the best thing ever. So I should
Weren't
call
you
him.
getting weren't you getting open rates on your bomb to your database? Like yours
I,
are going above 70, 80%,
I
weren't
and
they?
I wasn't going to talk about that because I didn't want to create unrealistic expectations for our agents listening. But they were above 90 on some of them, and then we're talking
But
a
here's
couple
a
thousand emails. So
so
it was
because you have a brand though, you have an audience.
right.
And that's the difference. Like you've built that audience over time. The difference between a database and an audience is the audience are people that actually know who the hell you are and listen to what you have to say. That only is created through consistent communication over time.
Right, and
Yeah,
there's a
that's
lot
really
that
huge
goes.
because our new agents would be taking like a title list, right? I mean, they would be taking a farm list to people and trying to create that as a database, or they don't have a database.
They don't have their email addresses, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
whatever.
they could spend a lot of time on Intellius or White Pages and really find it,
But
but
they're not.
that's not an authentic, organic. It's just a list of people. However, I do have ideas for that for a different podcast
Okay.
on our geographical farming. We got to update that. The other thing I was going to say is video. What was it? I should write this stuff down as I start talking. Um, oh, different parts of video. So let's go back, and instead of nurturing relationships, I want to talk about the impact of video in my career as far as listings. We already talked a little bit about the YouTube channel, but I want to talk about the video for preparing your home for sale, pricing your home for sale. More importantly, the introduction video to me. Now, and I just wanted to switch gears a little bit just to kind of perk the ears up of agents. So when I get a listing appointment, I say, here's my marketing video. You must watch this. Period, right? They have to watch it. Hi, it's Mike Bjorkman. I'm going to get you the highest price, quickest amount of time. And we talk about marketing. It's pretty simple. It might say I've grown up here my whole life, blah, blah, blah. But the
You said
marketing.
it before you go to the appointment, right?
Yeah, so I said it before I go to the appointment, and typically when I get there, I say, "Have you watched the video?" Half the time, I haven't wrote it down with chicken scratching, but it's about half the time they say yes, half the time they say no. What I know for a fact, the people that have said yes, I say, "Fantastic. Are there any other questions about marketing? Do you feel I'm the right agent to get you the highest price in the quickest amount of time?" Those people will say, "Yeah, let's jump in to the paperwork." The ones that haven't watched the video say, no, I didn't have time to watch the video, and they're that cold people. Even if they're referrals from a friend or a past client, they're still kind of cold. And I'm like, dude, this isn't even funny. If you two completely different operations. So then I don't ever take a client with me to go look at their house. It's going to take forever. They're going to tell me about all kinds of crap I can already see. So I say, fantastic. I'm going to look at your home through a buyer's eyes. Watch the marketing video. By the time I get back, I go, did you guys enjoy the video? They go, yeah, we really did. Do you feel I'm the right agent to get you the highest price? And now their attitude completely changes. So the dynamic switching from me walking around their house. I mean, if some dude was walking around my house, I wouldn't be like, I'd be like, what are you doing? I don't want to go. But since they're watching the video, they're engaged. So I just did my listing presentation while I'm walking through their house. To see the mind shift and to see the attitude change is like, oh, it's heavenly. So
Yeah.
agents listening again, there are times where very specific professional videos are good for your business. Even the David Knox videos. There's another guy, he wants to sell his house in 3 months, right? And I'm like, the guy's a pretty good friend. We do business with him. And I said, I don't want to come see your house. He's like, come over and tell me what I need to do. I'm like, well, I got these great David Knox videos. I'm going to send them to you, preparing your home for sale, pricing your home for sale. I'm trying to drag this out a little bit. And he replied back to the text message. I sent it via text, and he's like, oh my God, that was so cool. He's like, I totally don't need you to come over. I got this. Once I'm done, well, that's what I told him. Once you're done, then I'll come over. And he's like, you're right. Once I'm done with all this stuff, I'll have you come over. I'm like, thank God. So now I get to come over and after the holidays and not go over there and beat up a friend over there. It's just the video creates so much difference in people's minds and attitudes, and
it goes back to what we were talking about. That's all part of what people are hiring you for. People are hiring you for the experience. And part of that experience is the education. I mean, that's all we have left. What else are we? We're advisors and we're teachers for people who have real estate house problems. So that whole thing, again, it just adds to that overall experience. Plus, you mitigated your time doing it.
yeah, no, that was my goal. I was like, dude,
yeah,
I don't want to tell a friend of mine that I'm going to blow him off right now, because he kind of knows me well enough to go, dude, you're blowing me off.
yeah.
You know, so.
Like here you go in the process. And then
He doesn't listen to your podcast, does he?
No.
Okay.
I bet you even some of, think about, let's say someone that you went into and did that cold with that you didn't know at all, just total stranger, a sign call or something. So, you're going in against, another 3 or 4 different agents, saying you don't know who they are, say they are the top agents in your market. The question is does that little video you played with add to that? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's all of these little things that are doing. And that's why you're running a business. You're not just you run a business.
I'll even take it a step further. I've had people that I've gone on listing appointments, and I say a couple of different things. How many agents are you interviewing? What are some of the final decisions that need to be made? What are the 3 top things you need? A lot of them have said, I canceled my 2 or 3 other appointments, but I kept you and so. Instead of 5, I brought it down to 2. After watching your video, I knew you would be one of the 2. I'm like, what if I wouldn't have sent that video? Oh my God. I mean, I could have lost
it's like the
10
small
grand.
things. Yeah.
I'm so
Absolutely.
stupid. Or I say, and this is a true thing, and and Shane always says to us, we're marketing specialists with real estate licenses. And I've actually had clients tell me, they said, dude, you have done and said things that nobody else has said in a freaking 3-minute video. How could I not have you come over after all these things you said in that video that nobody's ever said? And I've talked to lots of agents. I've sold 4 homes, and I'm like, yeah, see, there's a difference. Yep. It's freaking amazing. Well, and I'm sitting here in my mind, I'm working things up like, oh, I need a new video for this.
No, well, now I want to know too.
Yeah, you just spent like $3,000 in videos.
Yeah, I'm flying out.
Your videos are a little old now.
Yeah. Look, I was like 205 in those videos. Now I'm like 208. So,
okay.
So I don't know, but we wanted to go over a couple other things before I let you go. You got a few more minutes, Mike? I know this is a long one. I just wanted to talk about back to the word that's really big in real estate right now, the authenticity of the communication level. So many of us have watched people do video that are robots. I am Mike Bjorkman. And it's like, dude, come and just be yourself, right? So, and I know you're a firm believer with me, be yourself. How do people talk on video? Let's give them one last goodbye tip. How's that?
Just same way you would talk to your best friends. And if you mess up and stutter, even better. The vulnerabilities that are exposed on video, I even say the more unprofessional, the better, because people know that you're authentic. At the end of the day, that's all people really want from you anyways. I mean, people, when you're talking about real estate, I mean, think about it. Like, it's the largest financial investment that most people ever make in their lifetime. So it's a big deal. Some people are really nervous. Some people are not. And they want to ultimately trust you more than anything. Most consumers don't really understand the difference between Bjorkman and me as real estate agents, or Bjorkman and his person as real estate agents. They lump us all in the same category, assuming that we all are going to provide the same level of service, right? And that's what the general consumers believe. But excuse me, you got to just be yourself, because people see that right away, and you'll connect with them. And it's no different than meeting anybody on the first time. Like, we ultimately just want to feel comfortable with the agent we hire. That's what consumers say. That's, at the end of the day, that's what they want, that comfort level. So too polished, too professional is a lot of times it could set the BS meters off.
Mm-hmm. Those are the guys I think are pompous. Yeah.
The BS meters.
Well, that's what people look at.
No, you're absolutely right.
It's the truth. People want to say, am I being sold or not? And nobody wants to be sold anymore. Everyone wants to be served. So, position yourself to do just that, and really just be yourself. You're going to connect with a lot more. And you may turn some people off, and that's okay. You have to be willing to accept that.
I loved how you ended that. You have to be willing to accept that. Not everybody's going to love you. It's no different. People say, well, then I don't want to do video. But the reality is, once you get there, they're still not going to like you, because they would have known they didn't like you to begin with in your video. So
Yeah,
what's
they're
the
not going to like you
difference?
anyways.
Yeah,
Don't let your feelings get hurt. A lot of people that probably don't like me, a lot of people probably don't like Yorkman, unfortunately. But
and how many people have we watched the videos on Facebook? We go, what a effing tool! I cannot
But
believe.
we can't turn it off either.
Yeah, it's like watching a train wreck, right? I go, I cannot believe this person
Sells.
is actually listing property.
Still.
Unbelievable.
dude,
But
it's hater syndrome. And if no one's hating, you're not doing
Yeah.
it right.
and I'm like, wow, these people are doing business. They are doing it the crappiest way possible and still making more money than half the agents that work for me. Like, oh
So
my
I'll
God.
give you one more example before we hang out. And I can't mention any names, but yeah, same scenario. You know, there's a in a market that I'm doing work in. There's a guy, and he's, you know, every other broker in that market just hates this guy. I checked out all his stuff. Dude, he's doing everything right. He's amazing. There's nothing wrong with his videos. His videos are good, but when they watch a video, like, dude, this guy, who's this guy? Like, everyone's just talking smack on him because they're just they just know that it's working for him. The guy's actually doing a very good job, and he's a really nice guy. There's nothing wrong. He's not a jerk or anything, but they are hating on his stuff because it's so
Text
good.
me that
It's
name.
good.
I want
to see too.
All right, I will.
All right,
So
dude.
funny, but yeah.
I know we're way out of time, and I cannot express how much I think I can speak for both of us.
Absolutely.
How thankful we are for your time spent. I know
Thanks
you
for
make,
having me. I appreciate it.
I know you
Appreciate
make
the
a
exposure.
crap
Hopefully
ton of
you're
money per hour, and this hour has been so beneficial. I think if a normal real estate agent that's not doing video now listen to this podcast,
They will.
I believe they will at least try it,
Absolutely.
and that's exactly what we want to get accomplished, and that's why we do these things. Pour our heart and soul and training out for these agents,
Yep.
and you totally brought it today. So I appreciate
Cool.
that, man.
Yes, thank you so much.
Maybe we could have you on again to talk about some of the other things that we never even got to talk about. That'd be cool.
Yeah, like the other 5 points.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to have you back to talk a little bit about a tractor soon.
Sure.
Maybe you and I can do a Facebook Live and record it, something like that. Because I think what's important is that the agents get to take advantage of that as well, and the brokers across the country too.
Sure.
What is that website in case somebody wanted to peek?
Honest, all the info's on my main site, realestatemarketingdude.com.
Real
You can
estate
see exactly what it is. Just click on the 2 buttons that are right there, and it'll take you right to a tractors page.
Is that the Facebook page? That's really what I want them to look at too.
My Facebook page, just go out Real Estate Marketing Dude. Everything runs through Real Estate Marketing Dude.
There you guys go. All right. Well, you guys, again, Mike, thank you. And Julie, thank you. That was totally fun. And thank you for being a good sport when I picked on you a little bit. All right. We're going to get ready and do episode number 35. And Mike, if we blast this out, will you help share it?
Yes, of course.
All right. So if you guys do want to watch this video, not just listen to it, our YouTube channel is HomeSmart NCG. That's North County Group NCG, no spaces. And you can watch it on there. Real Estate Marketing Show. You could watch it on there too, realestatemarketingshow.com. Click on Next Level Training Series. And there you go. You'll find us everywhere.
YouTube too.
YouTube too? Do we have a YouTube for Real Estate Marketing Show?
We're putting everything we do on YouTube training. So this, live, podcast, all of them.
Oh, live even.
Everything.
All right, guys. Thank you for
Congrats,
listening
guys.
to Real Estate
Success.
Marketing Show.
Congrats on your new office.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. We love you. All right, guys. We'll see you next episode. Thanks so much for rating us high on the iTunes Store. Take care.